Kim Jong-un's childhood is one of the most secretive stories in modern history. Imagine being born into a family where your every step is part of a grand plan. Kim was born on January 8, 1984, in Pyongyang, North Korea, though even his exact birth year is debated. That's how tightly guarded his life was from the start. He later moved to Switzerland, attending the International School of Bern under a fake name. There, he wasn't treated like royalty. He was described as quiet, shy, and obsessed with basketball. He idolized Michael Jordan, and his classmates say he had posters of the NBA star all over his room. Despite his reserved nature, he carried an air of importance, something his peers couldn't quite figure out. When he returned to North Korea, the transition wasn't easy. His life became a strict regimen of studies at Kim Il-sung University, preparing him for a destiny unlike any other. What came next shaped the leader he is today. Kim Jong-un didn't just step into leadership overnight. His path to becoming supreme leader was calculated and precise, starting years before his father, Kim Jong-il, passed away. In the late 2000s, whispers of succession began when Kim was seen taking on mid-level roles in the powerful National Defense Commission. These were no ordinary roles. They were meant to prepare him for ultimate control. In 2010, he was unexpectedly named a 4-star general, despite having no significant military experience. This move shocked many, but sent a clear message. Kim was being positioned as the heir. His appearances at key state events increased, and his father worked tirelessly to establish his legitimacy. When Kim Jong-il died in December 2011, Kim Jong-un, at just 27 years old, was declared supreme leader. Critics doubted his ability to lead, given his youth and limited experience, but he wasted no time proving them wrong. What followed next was a display of power that left no room for doubt about who was in charge. After stepping into leadership, Kim Jong-un had one priority: solidifying his grip on power. The world quickly learned how far he was willing to go to eliminate threats, starting with a shocking move in 2013, executing his own uncle, Jang Song-taek, who was once considered the regime's second most powerful figure. This ruthless act set the tone for his leadership. Kim wasn't just removing rivals, he was reshaping North Korea's leadership structure to ensure loyalty. High-ranking officials were frequently replaced, sometimes disappearing entirely, leaving little room for dissent. These purges weren't random. They were carefully planned to remove anyone who could challenge him. Beyond this, Kim established a cult of personality around himself, drawing parallels to his grandfather, Kim Il-sung. Propaganda painted him as a decisive and fearless leader. By the end of his first few years, it was clear that Kim Jong-un wasn't just following in his family's footsteps. He was carving his own path, one that demanded absolute control. Kim Jong-un didn't just focus on military power. He wanted to reshape North Korea's struggling economy. In 2013, he introduced the Byungjin policy, a bold plan to develop the economy and nuclear weapons side by side. It was a risky move, balancing the country's limited resources between military ambitions and improving everyday life. Kim also allowed small market-oriented reforms, a significant shift from the strictly controlled economy of the past. Private enterprises began to appear, and unofficial marketplaces, known as jangmadang, became hubs for trading goods. This gave citizens limited opportunities to earn money outside state control. Yet, the changes came with contradictions. While some industries saw progress, international sanctions crippled others. Food shortages persisted, and resources remained scarce. Kim used propaganda to frame these challenges as sacrifices for a brighter future. His vision for economic growth was clear, but it was always tied to his other priority: building nuclear weapons, which leads us directly to his most controversial legacy. Kim Jong-un's nuclear ambitions quickly became the world's focus. Shortly after taking power, he accelerated North Korea's nuclear weapons program. In 2013, the country conducted its third nuclear test, signaling that Kim wasn't going to slow down. By 2017, North Korea claimed to have successfully tested a hydrogen bomb, a weapon far more powerful than anything it had before. But it wasn't just about nuclear tests. Kim oversaw the development of intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs, capable of reaching the United States mainland. Each missile launch brought more international sanctions, isolating the country further. Yet, for Kim, this was proof of strength. Domestically, the weapons program was sold as a symbol of independence and protection from foreign powers. North Korean media painted Kim as a fearless leader, standing up to global threats. His focus on military advancements wasn't just about defense. It was about cementing his image as a leader who would never back down. This determination shaped his role on the global stage. Kim Jong-un didn't just aim to build power within his borders. He wanted the world to notice. In 2018, he shocked everyone by stepping onto the global stage for a series of historic summits. First, he met South Korea's President Moon Jae-in at the Demilitarized Zone, DMZ. It was the first meeting of its kind in over a decade. The world watched as Kim smiled and shook hands with his southern counterpart, promising a new era of peace. Later that year, he made headlines by meeting U.S. President Donald Trump in Singapore. This marked the first time a North Korean leader had ever met a sitting U.S. president. The talks centered around denuclearization and lifting sanctions, though results were mixed. Despite setbacks, the meetings boosted Kim's image as a global leader. Meanwhile, Kim worked on strengthening ties with allies like China and Russia, ensuring support against international pressure. These moves made it clear Kim Jong-un wasn't just leading, he was positioning himself as a key player on the world stage. Behind the diplomacy and military displays lies a darker side to Kim Jong-un's leadership. His government is accused of widespread human rights abuses. Critics say the regime maintains a network of brutal prison camps where dissenters, along with their families, disappear without a trace. Conditions in these camps are reported to be inhumane, with forced labor, starvation, and torture. Kim's government also tightly controls all information. The internet is banned for most citizens, and foreign media is illegal. Those caught watching South Korean dramas or listening to outside news face severe punishments. This strict control ensures that only state-approved narratives reach the people. Despite these reports, Kim's propaganda machine works tirelessly to downplay these accusations. Inside North Korea, he is portrayed as a benevolent leader protecting the nation from foreign threats. For outsiders, however, the human rights abuses remain a grim reminder of the cost of his absolute rule. These contrasting realities define his complex legacy. Kim Jong-un's health and family life have fueled endless speculation about who might lead North Korea after him. The world got its first glimpse of his daughter, Kim Joo-ae, in late 2022. She appeared at a missile launch event, sparking rumors that she might be groomed as his successor. This was surprising, given North Korea's patriarchal traditions, but Kim's decisions are rarely conventional. His sister, Kim Yo-jong, is another key figure in the succession puzzle. Known for her sharp political instincts and loyalty to her brother, she has taken on prominent roles, including representing North Korea in international talks. Some experts believe she could step in if Kim is unable to rule. Still, the idea of succession is fraught with uncertainty. Kim's grip on power is tied to his ability to maintain control, and any transition would test the regime's stability. The world watches closely, knowing that even a hint of change in leadership could reshape the region. In recent years, Kim Jong-un has made headlines for both bold moves and bizarre policies. One of the most unusual was banning the sale and consumption of hot dogs, calling them symbols of Western decadence. Those caught defying this rule faced harsh punishments, including forced labor. On a more serious note, Kim announced plans to significantly expand North Korea's nuclear arsenal, citing growing threats from the U.S. and its allies. His partnership with Russia has also deepened, with reports suggesting military cooperation in exchange for technological gains. Some speculate that North Korean troops have even supported Russian operations in Ukraine. Domestically, Kim continues to push propaganda portraying these developments as necessary for the nation's survival. Despite facing sanctions and isolation, his regime remains defiant, positioning itself as a force unwilling to bow to international pressure. These recent actions show that Kim's leadership is as unpredictable as ever, keeping the world on edge about what might come next.